if my wardrobe could speak to you, it would say he's poor, because that's exactly what I am. And like I rep that, and it's weird, like, oh, you're poor. No one reps being poor, but I really do, because I think poverty is like the key to creativity. I mean, not saying that people who are well off or people with more money can't create, but I think, you know, when you don't have anything, it's easier for you to make more, or to make the best of what you have, and that comes like the most beautiful masterpiece. That comes with music, art, you know, that's you know, inventions. You know, people who are poor and don't have anything, they somehow find the best way to make something new, something more, you know, what's the word for it? Efficient, you know, for you know what they're trying to do. So I'm trying to use that in my case. You know, I'm not poverty like, you know, you would think poverty, but it's like I don't have a lot all the time. You know? Sometimes I don't have what I would like, and I try to use that as inspiration. I try to use poor or poverty as inspiration, and I kind of use that slogan in a lot of our shoots. You know, if we're doing a streetwear shoot, I might talk a lot about, you know, poverty, poor. Like, this is us. This is me.
That's something that people can actually identify with, though, because a lot of us don't have money. Like, the realism is that not all of us are billionaires. You know, we're not millionaires. We're not rich people, and I think that's what kind of speaks to people. So, as far as Philadelphia fashion goes, how do you incorporate your look in living in the city of Philadelphia? How do you incorporate it?
I honestly don't care a lot about what other people are wearing. I mean, I like it. I think, oh, that's nice. That's cool. That's nice. And everyone says like, oh, I'm the original. I'm original at this. I'm original. I don't think of myself as so much original, but more individual. Yeah. I wear this just because I, you know, enjoy doing it. Just because I like this. Just because, you know. And I don't look down on anybody for not wearing what I think looks nice. Like, I think that's the worst thing. Like, cause I work with people who are in fashion, and sometimes, you know, they're good people, but sometimes they tend to look down on other people who may not even have style, may not really care about what they're wearing. You know? May not take time to put. Maybe not. They don't take time to pick out clothes. Maybe they look clean. Maybe they're pressed, but they don't take time. I don't look at people, look down on people like that. I think, you know, everyone expresses themselves in a different way, and I think that's what it's all about. Some people express themselves through music. Some people express themselves through education and creating formulas and so forth. I express mine by, you know, clothing and speaking through that.
And I was like, g.o.o.d. I have a picture I made with like angels. g.o.o.d. I was like, who's g.o.o.d? And then that's how I started learning about like all these really, really famous and basic artists. Yeah, it was kind of embarrassment.
No. I look into like a lot of vintage for inspiration. Deborah L. Scott, if you know who she is, she did the actual styling for like Titanic.
Wow. She does a lot of
for Back to the Future.
Yeah. My grandmother's basement, that was, and the attic was my inspiration.
Yeah. She's like one of my
mansions. He took me to see mansions today. Love mansions.
Mansions.
I
thought like mansion was like a special play or something.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought that it was like a book or a movie or
not people.
That's probably the thing that we just don't notice. We probably see it all the time.
So what I want to do now is throw out a couple of names of designers and maybe a few stylists, and you just tell me what you think about them in one word or a few more than, I guess more than a few words. Yeah. Okay, Julie Ambrose. She's a stylist. She's an African American stylist.
I don't know who she is either. I don't.
Well, that's all right. Well, how about this? Ralph Lauren.
All right, Ralph Lauren. I love him. He's one of my favorites. I tend to look at a lot of his older things because that is so raw. It was so clean. It was so new. You know, he's up there. He started all this. You know, he made people start walking around in polo shirts, literally. Right. Even if it doesn't have a polo horse man on it, it's a polo shirt. He made people start walking around in you know, jeans and I'm not gonna give him all that credit, but he did a lot, and I definitely look up to him. Mr. Lifshitz, that's his name, but yeah, I definitely look up to him. I definitely respect, him to the fullest, no doubt.
What about Alexander McQueen?
Alexander McQueen, like his stuff too. It's pretty cool. I mean, I can never afford his things because I'm poor, but I draw inspiration in some ways from him and some of the things he does. I respect it. A lot of designers, and stylists, I respect, understand what they're trying to convey, and I appreciate it. But it's like sometimes you just have that designer, it's just like that's it right there, and I feel that with Ralph Lauren, I feel that with Alexander Wang, I feel that with Deborah L. Scott, I feel that with people in that. I like even people who don't have actual brands or aren't in that scene. People like MIA, Pharrell, Kanye. Even though I hate to say it, Kanye West, he's one of my favorite artists. In general, just my favorite artist. Like I drew a lot of inspiration from him growing up. Just seeing how he was different from everyone else. Like when everyone else was wearing big T-shirts and do-rags, I wasn't allowed to wear big shirts and do-rags. Like my mom told me I wasn't allowed to wear big shirts and do-rags because you look like everyone else. You look like everyone else walking around. Be different. Do your own thing. And I think I drew a lot of inspiration from that because it made me. Maybe I should walk down the street in a suit and tie rather than wearing a shirt and tie, rather than wearing some sneakers, some brand new sneakers that everyone's wearing. Maybe I should, and that helped me mentally because now since I'm dressing differently, I started to think a little differently than everyone else because it kind of forced me to not accept, the norm, to respect it.
Right.
But be your own person, do your own thing. Read a new book. Start your own book. Something like that.
Now you said, Kanye West. He's a different sort of artist. He's a different type of guy in general. Now I noticed that, Kanye from time to time he wears kilts. And you're wearing a kilt right now. So can you tell me a little bit about what is it about a kilt that you like?
All right. First of all, I haven't been wearing kilts. I'm not gonna say I've been wearing kilts before Kanye. I'm not gonna say that, but Kanye West wears a kilt, and it's cool, and I think that's dope. But I've been looking at it for years. I've been seeing it, and it's just like, it's a skirt. And as time grew on, like the whole blind mentality got to me. Like, be accepting of different things. You've been doing this for years. This is someone else's culture. You know what I mean? This is someone else's culture, and that's the thing like that we build on, like embracing someone else's culture. And I think as time goes on, things change. Women weren't wearing pants, 70 years ago.
It wasn't somebody like CoCo or Heffern.
People weren't wearing women weren't wearing pants. Men weren't wearing hoodies.
Right.
It was something that just wasn't done. Men weren't walking down the street with sneakers on. Men weren't walking. And if you were to see someone wearing that years ago, you would say like, "What's wrong with them? What's going on?" And I think just me now, it's just like I think things I do now possibly might be what people are doing in the future. I'm not saying I'm fashion forward, I'm ahead of my time. I'm not trying to do it like that, but it's like don't be so limited. Some people, they like the old things. Some people like the what's now. Some people like the futuristic. I like it all. I like just embracing everything.
Right. And I mean, the important part about fashion is that fashion is always going to be transcendent and just doing things, but there's nothing new under the sun.
Exactly.
And I think that's the biggest message about fashion in general.
Well, I'm going to correct you a little bit on that. I think things are new, and I call it new in the sense. Listen. I call it new in the sense that the way it's done different. Now, it's not brand new. Because you think about it, nothing is brand new. Everything draws inspiration from something. Nothing is straight brand new. Like the iPhone got its inspiration from the computer. Even though it's brand new, it's new. It still drew its inspiration from something else. I think that's the same way with clothing. It's like it's something new. For instance, skinnies. Guys been wearing skinny jeans since the 50s, and it's been done. And then it was that period of time where people were like, nah, I want to wear bell bottoms. Then there was a time where people were like, nah, I want to wear this. And then in the 90s, people, nah, why are you wearing those tight pants? Your pants shouldn't be that tight. And people started loosening their pants up. Now people starting to tighten their pants up. It's like stuff like that. It's things change, you know. It's not new, but the way it's done, it's new. Like they wore flannels back in the 30s, but they're not wearing them the way they are now. You know, if you wore a flannel in the 30s, men will always tuck it in their pants. But you wear now, you know, you wear those pants, you wear like how I'm doing right now, or like how I'm wearing skinnies right now. You know, it's like I wear them this way, and I'm wearing Jordans.
Right. Well,
I'm wearing this flannel. Like this combination wouldn't be seen in the 50s. This combination wouldn't be seen in the 80s. This combination wouldn't be seen in the 90s. And I think it's new in that sense. But the
it's
thing
new in that sense, but I think in general, there's still nothing. Things are always being constantly done over, right? But in different ways. In that way.
Makes sense.
But you know what? Thank you so much for joining me in, you know, CoCo Full of Grace TV. Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure to have you here to speak with me.